and welcome back to the Football Fanatic podcast. This is episode 22. And Howard and Dan, welcome back as always. Lenny, welcome back to the podcast. How have you been?
Yeah, thanks, Dick. Yeah, been not too bad now.
Good stuff.
Yeah, been following it over the last few months now. Your the episodes are coming thick and fast, so yeah, enjoying it a lot, and
Enjoying it. Good stuff. We
delighted
we
to be
brought
back.
we brought Lenny on in the out of the pure chance that Dan was Dan is still sick, but he's still on the podcast, so we thought we might have to replace him. But a couple of steroids, a cream egg, and a eclair, has him here on the podcast. I'll
That's it,
edit that
man.
out, Dan. Don't worry.
It's okay. No, you don't have to edit it out. It's the truth.
How are you feeling? You all right?
I'm all right. Yeah. I'm a bit better now today. The meds and the antibiotics have kicked in now, but it's been weeks since we recorded last week now, to be honest. Since Tuesday, I've been fucked. So,
Yeah, Howard, you're good.
All good. All
Howard,
good.
Howard is doing dry January,
Yep.
actually.
fair
Congratulations.
play.
Can you see how fresh I look?
How are you
Last
doing?
two
How are you,
Mondays.
how are you finding it?
Good. Yeah. No, it's been good. We'll have the All Ireland final now next weekend, so the dry stint will become a bit
That's-
more moist or
So you're
damp.
not,
Okay, so-
so you're not really doing dry January at all, like.
Oh, well,
No.
just staying off the booze for a few weeks. That's the that's the aim.
So basically, you're just normal. You
Yeah,
just have,
well,
like,
yeah,
two-
do New Year's
two or-
resolution, take 2 weeks off or 3 weeks off or whatever it is.
Okay, just while we're on that, the very best of luck to St. Bridget's this Sunday. Crow Park, huge achievement to get there, and it will actually be class 10 years on from when they won it last.
Yeah.
So the very best of luck to them. But that's Gaelic. We're here to talk about soccer. What's they call it? We will start actually Newcastle 2, Man City 3. So I'm just going to kind of sit back and I'm going to let you talk about the game and just marvel over the return of Kevin De Bruyne and the return of a genius. Took him 4.5 minutes when he came back I thought he might actually get the free kick straight away, but he didn't. With 4.5 minutes, he had us equalise, and then he assisted, obviously, Sideshow Bob to get the winner. I'll start with Dan. What did you make of the game? Anything stand out for you? City, Newcastle?
Look, it looked for all that City were just going to run away with it once they went up. Newcastle looked completely rattled, and just goes to show you the beauty of the Premier League that just within 2 minutes Newcastle were 2-1 up. Standouts for me, like I think De Bruyne, I think Foden, probably you'd mentioned it, Declan, that as well. And again, I thought he kind of, when De Bruyne come on, it kind of took away from Foden's game, but that Foden was exceptional for the time that he was on the pitch. That he was really, really good. And has been kind of got better. I think he's got more into games. He hasn't kind of drifted out as much as I thought he had earlier in the season.
He's
And-
actually for like in the last maybe 4 to 5 games, Pep has been playing him in a more of a central role.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That kind of number 10 in the pocket type role. And when he gets it and he turns and he just glides away, I know like he does have issues in terms of kind of tracking back in that, but going forward, I don't think kind of his talent can be disputed. Like, just more games, more time. Like, he could be the ideal replacement for De Bruyne when he does eventually.
yeah, and I think his
Finish up,
his numbers are going to will hopefully get better than as well. I suppose for as good as he are, his numbers probably should be better season on season for the quality and the talent that he has. But part of me there is a kind of feeling sorry for Newcastle. They just seem to be on the end of a couple of them now in recent weeks where they kind of dug in fairness to them, they defended very well. They were on course for a point, but sure, we talked about a few weeks ago, like that City second half of the season would be able to kick into gear, but like they were missing probably the best player in the league for the first half of the season. Did it affect them that much? Probably not. But like they missed their goal scorer for the last number of weeks. Has that been a problem for them? No. So it just goes to show you, like he's after coming back in, and like the goal that he got, it was actually the cameo that he gave was actually really him in a nutshell. The goal was exceptional. That's what he does. But even the ball out and wide, and he had one or two other ones that I think if Haaland was in the box, he would have been lapping it up, because when he gets in that wide right position and he can whip a ball in, like he's fantastic at it. And then probably the negative side for City, I do think that Ortega is quite a step down from Ederson. I know you think he's all right, but I think even on the game there yesterday and a few games I've seen him, he's not as comfortable at his feet. I don't think he's a patch on Ederson, and I think he's an average replacement if you ask me. But look, it didn't matter yesterday or the other day to them. And I thought Walker was poor for the goals as well. I thought you know what Isaac and
Yeah.
Gordon are going to do. They're going to be trying to turn in on the right foot, and like he basically just said, "Here you go, have a shot." But look, City, you know, they going to St James's Park, regardless of what form they're in, is always going to be a difficult game. It looked like Newcastle were going to have nothing really like much to offer, and then suddenly they were 2-1 up. Got to defend it really well actually, and they were a bit unfortunate. Like Trippier for that goal at the end, which was an unbelievable goal by him. And you've talked about it a few times. Like, I haven't seen a whole lot of him, but like it was like a confident young lad that when the pressure was on there, like, you know, he didn't think twice about it, and it was an unbelievable finish. Sorry for Trippier. Yeah, but sorry for Trippier because I thought he'd done very well against Doku, and was actually having a good game up to that point. So look, it's if there was ever going to be a game that was going to really boost the team's morale and kind of get them back into shape and into gear, it was that, because it's your main talisman is back, and as I said, it's probably onwards and upwards from here, you would think. And again, Silva as well, just his goal and just him in general. So like every time you watch him, he's just a quality player. And it's the bench as well. When you look at City's bench and what they have that they can bring off it, Haaland to come back into that side as well. You know, they have a real solid team that are going to be very, very difficult, I think, to take points off. What was it the stat was? I can't remember now off the top of my head, but they were talking about the points the City had conceded in the second half of seasons, and it was something ridiculously low. Like,
it was. Yeah,
they don't give up any points. You know, so you're talking that's the level that Liverpool and Arsenal are going to have to be at if they're going to have a chance at the title. You know.
Yeah, Lenny, I suppose just going on to Newcastle's bench. I know the commentators were saying at the weekend, like, I mean, who was on the bench, you know, because of their injuries, etc. It's not, look, they don't have a lot that can come on and affect games. I suppose that's 4. Is it 4 losses on the bounce? I think
3, I think.
So 3 losses on the bounce. Sorry.
Yeah.
Is Eddie Howe in trouble? Do you think?
I think it's very unlikely. I think that he'll be in the dugout at the start of next season. To be honest, unless, you know, they turn it around, you know, have a good end to the season, or the owners, you know, really put their faith in him and back him in the transfer window. But
when you say that, yeah, they can't really back them. I mean,
yeah,
this FFP or whatever you want to, profit and sustainability, etc. But I mean, they have to spend supposedly before they can bring in players. And I mean, if the owners are going to back them, does that mean that someone big is going to have to leave?
Yeah, I know. I read that they're definitely constrained by the financial regulations. So I don't think they're going to be up to much this window, but maybe in the summer, you know, it's the start of a new financial year or whatever. I'm not too up to speed with these rules, but I would say, given the ambitions the owners have and the money they're putting into it, they'll probably be looking for a coach who has, you know, a lot of European experience. Their Champions League didn't go great this season.
And that's the thing. I mean, Champions League they're out of. There's no Europa League. Are they 10th in the Premier League now at the moment?
Don't know.
29 points or something, is it? I'm not sure.
Yeah, looking at it here, like they're 10th, and actually they've lost their last 6 Premier League games. The only game win they have is the FA Cup.
They lost 6
like,
as well.
Yeah. So like they're 10th, like they're behind Chelsea, which kind of puts that into perspective. As well. Oof. Yeah. So like, you know, they've lost their last 6. The Sunderland one kind of took some other pressure off them. Like they play, I think, Villa and Spurs next. I think
Villa and Spurs, okay.
Yeah, I think they've you know, they have a couple of tough fixtures coming up for them, and yeah, I'd be with Lenny there. I think next season would be. I can't imagine it'll happen between now and then. But the talk is Mourinho. Actually, I don't know if you were following that. Mourinho was the one that's been
talked about. Be some crack.
There will be some crack, honest to God, if he's given money to spend. But if they're like constrained by financial regulation, like, he's not gonna go near them if he can't spend money, though.
Who knows?
Howard, what do you think?
Well, just on the game, a few things. That the De Bruyne thing, as you mentioned, Dan, I just felt when he was getting the jersey on and everyone was, you know, giving him a high five before he even came on, I just felt like it was going to happen for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There was like an aura. It's like, oh, here he comes, and like, there's no way that he doesn't do nothing. You know what I mean? He doesn't do anything. So there was
always... he was going to bang that free kick, and I thought he was definitely.
That was probably when he first got out. I was like, oh, he's going to put that away. But
just hit the wall.
But the pass into the corner with underneath the legs, like, just
that was like, it was ridiculous.
Really fast, like, you know what I mean?
It was true. It was true. I don't know who the defender was. It wasn't Trippier. Who was it?
Was it Dan Burn maybe, or was it
I don't
Shar
know.
maybe?
But I mean, just even the angle, like to kind of to like put through his legs, and it wasn't a shot. He
No, no,
literally
no.
passed it.
Passed it,
He
yeah.
knew precisely where he wanted the ball to go, into the corner of the net. He knew the goalie had a
Yeah.
very unlikely kind of opportunity to reach it. He passed it into the corner of the net.
Brilliant, yeah.
And I've seen him do that against teams over the years, and it's this vision that he kind of
Yeah.
sees. He sees kind of the play a couple, 2 or 3 steps ahead of other players, and I don't know. They say like football, 90% of it is in the brain, and I mean, with a player like that, that kind of it rings
Like
true.
we were saying, like remember a few weeks back, oh, he's had a serious injury, it might take him a while to get back into the swing of things. But I'd say the way it's looking at now is it looks more like he's very hungry. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's missed a lot of football that he's itching to get back on the pitch, and that's probably a dangerous thing from a rival point of view, that
Yeah.
he's ready to go and raring to go, and he's going to do damage, I'd say, going forward.
And he kind of looked a bit laboured, Howard. I remember last year, before he got injured, at times he looked a bit laboured, like he was there.
Yeah.
He was fucking nearly like he was going to collapse on the pitch. He was nearly nearly to break on him good, like, in a way.
I'd say he's been overplayed, like, you know what I mean. He doesn't have the physique, the normal physique of like a athletic, gazelle marathon runner. He's more of a kind of you could imagine him like in 10 years time when he retires, he'll put on a load of weight. Like, he just has that look about him. You know what I mean? He has that kind of Ricky Hatton, kind of Wayne Rooney look. You
think he'll blow up?
He could blow up. I'd say he could blow up. Yeah, we'll put it down here, jot it down.
Yeah.
But no,
I think
43 years of age, De Bruyne will be obese back in Belgium.
I think he just the cameo he made there on Saturday evening. He didn't look like a player that was like, when a player comes back from injury and they play the first few games, they're still like only
rusty.
90-95%. I say if he was with a different club, they could have been playing him 2 weeks ago, but I say Pep just waited till he's 100%.
Yeah, good point.
Definitely, yeah.
You made a good point, Howard, or was it Deck, that he had looked a bit laboured last season, and the amount of games they play. So I think,
and Belgium,
and this is rather ominous for the rest of the season, because he'll be fresh as fuck for the rest of the season.
Yeah, he'll be starting in all the games. Yeah.
And I say, come April, May, he'll be the best player in the league.
Yeah. I thought like the first 20 to 25 minutes of City, it was just like, if this is what it's going to be like for the next 15 games or whatever the season, like, forget about it, because they completely they completely swamped, like, Newcastle's going to get out of their half, like, and like when you're playing in St. James's Park, you need that, like, the fans just dumb down the whole the fans and everything. But again, they don't look great at the back. Is what I'd say. They're kind of look a bit open at the back.
Yeah, you mean Man City,
City, City do, yeah.
No, I agree. And Dan had mentioned it as well, that for the 2 goals, Walker was at fault. Absolutely didn't close.
And Diaz again, like, though, you look at this
something
season
with Diaz this season.
There is definitely,
he looks just lacking something from the previous few seasons. But Howard, for the first goal, Isaac,
brilliant.
Is he a player that Arsenal could look at?
I'd love him to. He has a kind of Henry-esque kind of style to him, the way he plays and the kind of the channels he runs into and his finishing. But he's obviously not at that level. But he'd be a class player, I think, if Arsenal signed him. But I can't see Newcastle. Everyone's like, FFP, they're going to sell some of their big players. I just can't see that happening. You know what I mean? For a club that has such wealth behind them, they'll find a way to sell other players before they sell, like, your Bruno Guimaraes and your Isaacs. I just don't think that's going to be the case. He's a bit injury prone, which would be maybe the only downside to him. But I thought, like, the last 2 games, even against Liverpool, he didn't get much of the ball, but he's somehow out at, like, running the channels down behind the defenders.
The finish was outstanding.
Class. And his finish against Liverpool was class as well. Like, literally a flick and it was in the bottom corner. Like,
I don't know. I just kind of, if Newcastle can't spend, or if their spending is restricted, I just get the feeling that, like, they seem to have been taken over almost too late.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
You know, if the like, but again, you never know. Look how these teams work. They'll find money from somewhere. They'll
But
get money from a sponsor or
Oh,
something
they've
like
plenty of
that.
money. It's just
Yeah.
trying to, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
they could contact Man City there and ask for a few tips
Yeah,
there. Yeah,
they could hire a few of their accountants there now.
yeah. Come here.
Yeah.
Just one thing. I just seen today, right, that Bruno Guimaraes' contract, I think he has €100 million release clause. And if I was Jurgen Klopp, I would pay that in the morning for him.
Really?
I think
he's a fucking.
I didn't know
bull
he had
dog,
a
isn't
release clause. Is he 100 million?
Yeah. I was reading it today that I think he has a release clause for something like €100 million, I think, or something. And there was talk of PSG or someone being interested in him. Because if you look at it, like if Newcastle wanted to sell one of their assets, they probably only got 3 realistically that they probably are in a position to sell. So I just when I seen it anyway, I was looking at it going, fuck me. Like we bought what was it in the summer? Was it Caicedo? Was it 110 million?
Yeah.
And for me, like Bruno was, he is a bit of a thug, like, but in fairness, he's the kind of a player that like fans would get behind.
Oh,
if you had him at their
absolutely.
club,
He's
and
a
like
workhorse.
he's a workhorse and he's a baller. Like his
Yeah.
ball for
He's
for
actually
Newcastle's, yeah, sure. Like it was
But he's a
crazy. It was really
dirtbag.
good.
He's a
Yeah,
dirtbag.
He is a dirtbag.
He has that, but to be honest with you, Liverpool don't have any dirtbags really.
Yeah.
You could do with one.
We're
So
looking
I-
for dirtbags.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
That
anyway,
Newcastle team,
huh?
that Newcastle team has a streak of dirtbags in them.
Yeah.
They're like a Aldi version of Atletico Madrid. You know, they're
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're an Aldi version of Atletico Madrid. I like that. Or they're an old version of the Leeds from the 70s, Lenny.
well.
You were
Atletico Madrid are the Aldi version of that, and then Newcastle are the Deals version of Atletico.
Here's a quick question I'll throw at you. On Atletico Madrid, Diego Simeone, will he ever manage in the Premier League?
Oh,
It'd
be interesting. It'd be interesting.
I think he's the man to fix Man United's problems.
Could be, yeah. Get them back up.
He wouldn't take any shit off
No,
them.
he put manners on them all and turned them into a pack of dogs, you know.
Yeah.
I think Alego have been regressing for him for the last couple of years, and I think that I wouldn't. He could manage in the league, but I wouldn't. If I was a top club, I wouldn't be jumping at him.
No, I wouldn't. His style of play is very boring.
Highest paid manager in the world, isn't he?
Is he?
I think so.
Is
yeah.
he? What?
I think he's the highest paid manager. Yeah.
Someone get on the phone and check that while we can.
I'll check it.
Please, fact check it.
I'll check that. Give me a second here.
Where's Kieran when you need it?
Apparently one of them lads that's gone to the fucking circus is on ridiculous money. Surely.
Yeah, the circus is falling apart as well, by the way.
Yeah, they all want to leave the circus.
Henderson wants back. I read today as well. Who else
Firmino.
wants back? Benzema wants back as well, or wants out.
Yeah.
It's gas, isn't it?
Nah, but look, the same thing happened in China where, like, you know, there was all this money pumped in, players left, and I think after a year, I mean, you know, the kind of bubble burst, but we'll see. Right, other results while Dan is fact checking.
Oh, here we go. Here we go, Lenny.
Go on.
Lenny, you're not just a pretty face here. I'm looking at So I'm just looking at one. This is from July, and it's highest paid managers in world football. And Diego Simeone is top on. He's paid 34 million
a year.
There you go.
And Pep is next on 22. Klopp is third on 18. Gerrard is fourth highest paid manager, 17.6 million. Like, it's hilarious, isn't it?
Insane.
And they haven't won a game in 2 months. No, Allegri.
How the
then
hell is he the most fucking expensive manager in the world?
That's money laundered.
That's amazing.
Something's going on there now. In fair, if Atletico Madrid are paying him that much.
Might not be the biggest club in the world, but he earns the highest salary.
Yeah.
Simeone is the longest serving coach in Europe's major leagues and has been well remunerated since he came in 2011. I suppose he's there, so he's obviously on what do they call that? Increment. He's on solid increment.
Yeah.
He's going up. A public service job. He's going up year by year.
Tip to the job.
Come here. So Chelsea 1, Fulham 0. Chelsea are on a little bit of a run at the moment. Man United 2, Spurs 2. Everton 0, Aston Villa 0. And I want to end on this and just get your opinion. Burnley 1, Luton 1. Have you seen the equaliser for Luton? Yeah. And I'll just get your opinions on very quickly on this. Lenny, what did you make of this? Should it have been a free kick out?
No, I don't think so. And as a former member of the goalkeepers union, I don't think it was a free out. I think,
He thought it was a legal goal.
yeah, I think your man, the striker, yeah, kind of puts his arse out a bit, but Trafford was nowhere near the ball and he went down like a sack of shite, making a big deal of it.
I don't know, man. I'm in complete disagreement with you on this one.
Fair enough.
I thought it was an absolute free kick. I thought whoever it was came in. Sorry, go ahead.
That contact was not enough to make him go down.
But it was impeding the goalkeeper from coming out to get the ball, no?
But he was nowhere near catching it. If the rule is if you're catching the ball and you're impeded, but he wasn't really near catching it.
Okay. Dan?
Just looking at it here again.
Okay. No, you're grand.
No, I'm watching because Lenny, I must start going.
Yeah.
Have you seen the single? Because I looked at it
I don't
again,
think. Yeah, I
it's an
don't think it's
absolute
foul.
definite
Yeah.
foul. No,
It's
I don't
Howard.
think so.
Not for me. Like it's like he's just standing his ground. Like and he puts his back towards him, but like. It's not,
Sorry, you
I-
do or you don't think it was a free kick?
I think it's a proper goal. I don't think it. I don't think it should have been a free kick. Like if you look,
fuck's
like
sake.
the goalie's coming out, like the goalie's in
Dan,
no
what
man's
do you
land.
think?
Like
yeah, like your man he's bashed into him.
Thank you.
what's
If
the
you're-
keeper
if
doing
you're a
there? Like,
keeper-
he's-
If you're a keeper, you come out and you clean everyone out of your way. It's
Unless you're unable to do so because you've been bashed into.
But he
Just
wasn't
watching it. The size of your man as well is bashed
yeah,
into him.
but
Doesn't matter.
Newton had.
So Dan, you
Yeah.
think it was a free kick? Yeah.
I thought when I seen it the weekend. Yeah, no, I still think that's a penalty. Yeah,
It is.
Well, that's sorry,
Right.
it's a free
Free
out.
out. Nah,
Yeah, I
Nah,
do, yeah,
not for
yeah.
me.
not
Not
for
for
me.
me. Not for
I
me.
think-
Howard,
I
when
think-
you
I don't even know if he's going to get to the ball, even if your man's not
Yeah.
there. I don't even
That's the
think
thing.
Get to
He's
it.
not going to get to
I don't
any
even
of it.
think he's getting there. And all your man does is stand your ground. Okay, he backs
actually
into him.
not
but-
He didn't stand his ground, Howard.
well, he backs into him, but like it's not like he pushes
Oh,
him or shoves him. Like
No,
you know what I mean?
exactly.
when
How
Howard,
much-
when you kind of messaged your group at the weekend saying, "Did you see the decision on Friday night?" I was of the opinion that
Yeah, so was I.
you meant it was an awful decision. It should have been a free out. So you were saying it was an absolute goal. Nothing
Oh yeah,
wrong
because
with it.
everyone on Twitter and all that were giving it. Yeah, we're all
All right, so
up in
the
arms.
two V are in agreement. It was a fair goal.
Okay,
think so,
yeah, I can see though, right? So I just watched it. I was just of the opinion that it's definitely that's really, but when he's coming for, he actually never looks like he's actually going to get there, though, does he? There is that.
No.
There is
Yeah.
So if the rule,
Now your turn as well.
no. So the rule is that unless it's if there's any doubt at all, so it probably looking at it again there now, and kind of I can see the lad's opinion. He didn't look like that part of it. He didn't actually would he have got to it. He mightn't have.
Yeah,
Dan,
for
look,
me,
no.
Dan,
Dick,
look, you're- go on.
Yeah.
Howard.
for me, like it's not the like that's the decisions are out, but the refereeing has gotten so inconsistent. Like you know, like he,
100%,
like
yeah.
I even the City game the last day, who was it? There was like basically a foul by it was like counter-attacking foul, and it was pretty much there was for City. I can't remember who it was, but it should have been
yellow
it
should have
wasn't a
been given,
yellow,
was
but
it?
it wasn't yellow, and then basically the exact same thing happened for Newcastle.
That's right.
and it
yeah,
was
and
a yellow card.
And a yellow was
And
given,
it was
yeah.
Pep was going mad, and it was just like they're so the exact same thing. It was like St. James
Well,
Parker
actually-
shouting at the ref,
Yeah.
Andy
No,
Madley,
no.
who's a fool. But,
100% a fair point. But I actually wanted to bring you another point. You know the way Ederson was injured and this
Oh,
whole
yeah.
crack of the linesman's flag going up, not going up until the decision is 100% confirmed. I mean, that's starting like there's been two incidents now in the last
Yeah.
few weeks where a City player, John Stones, the first one, Ederson at the weekend, the second one, where a player's got injured. And I mean, that needs to be looked at surely because, I mean, you not think so, Lenny?
No, because
What's the point if a player's in an offside position when the ball is kicked? Why are linesmen?
but they're not sure if he's offside.
they're not sure.
But a lot of them are stonewalling
Yeah.
offside.
Yeah.
You can see
Well,
he's offside.
Yeah,
See,
I
the
know
worst
what you-
thing is they flag for it, and then it actually turns out they got it wrong.
They have
Dude.
VAR for that.
I know, but they've already
If the
whistled
flag
for it.
goes
Like,
up,
you know what I
then
mean?
the
They've
game
already blowed for it. He could be sure
Yeah.
on goal.
Yeah,
he could
yeah.
finish it.
Yeah, but the ones where lads where say a ball is kicked over the top, the lad chases after, but he started offside. Like the ref can start the lines can see that.
Yeah.
They're like play it on. Like them ones.
It
Shouldn't
depends
get
how
to that
clear is
stage.
clear. Like that's the thing
Yeah.
for like if there's any sort of doubt in the landsman's mind, he shouldn't be flagging for it. You know what I mean?
What
Um,
annoyed me at the weekend was like, I know the Ederson thing was only literally in the second, third minute, but literally after he went off, there was an offside for Newcastle then a couple of minutes later, and he put her up, but he put her up so much quicker. And again, it comes back to consistency. We've been saying it for fucking months that like they're just not consistent, whether it's for right or wrong.
They're not, but sure, Gusto's tackle at the weekend was another prime example.
Yeah.
Like he got sent off, I think, for that tackle a couple of weeks previous.
Yeah.
Other players have done it and got sent off for it, but like that was a red card, I think.
Yeah.
And again,
but like what they're looking to do now and what they need to do is to forget about the officials being in the VAR room, put just the same people in the VAR room, you know, that do all the VAR games, and let that be that. Because what's happening is one decision is going to VAR. The foot's over the ball and it's a red card because the referee in the VAR room thinks it's a red card, and then another referee is in the VAR room different time. He's like, no, a yellow is sufficient, and it's just there's no consistency. Well, if you have the same person all the time or the same group of people all the time doing the same thing and not let them be on the pitch and just that's their job, I think you'll get a bit more consistency. I think that's what the PGMOL are trying to get at the moment.
Yeah, like I think as well, like what's that? The Liverpool City game earlier in the season where Alisson got away with one. Like, that was one. If you're talking at the one there, we're talking about now.
Oh yeah,
if that's not, you know what I mean? Like
yeah, exactly. Like
you can't go from one extreme to that then as well. Like, you know.
Yeah, that was a definite goal. Yeah.
Consistency. Yeah. All right, we'll move on. And this week we're bringing up a topic of the Premier League's most disliked players over the last few years since the inception in '92. So I'm going to go to each one of you, and then I want you to name out your disliked players. And if you have an example or if you have a little story about them, go for it. So Lenny, you're the guest on this week. So give me your first one.
Sure. Some of these explain themselves, but I have a bit of a long list here, but I'll go with a current player and I'll just go Bruno Fernandes.
Okay, why? I get it, but tell the listeners, why is he disliked?
You know, like he's always bitching to the ref over nothing. He's always, you know, any bit of a tackle rolling around. Like if you're playing against him, you just want to leave a few stud marks in on his Achilles, you know, give him something to cry about.
All right, okay.
You know, it's just there's anyone
there.
Yeah, right.
I know, I'm only joking. Go ahead.
Like, does anyone who obviously doesn't support Man United, like everyone thinks he's a prick. You know,
I'm not going to argue.
Yeah. But you know, he just has an annoying face, and you're just like, whenever you see him, you're just like,
It's the whinging thing. That whole
I
think that's the part that really goads people about him, is the fact that he's always just up moaning,
his face,
and,
like,
with his hands flailing around the place.
And even I've talked to Man United fans, and they say then, like, you know, especially obviously with their recent last few years bad run of form, like whenever like they're in a game and the going gets tough, like he'll go missing as well, like which isn't great. Like, so he's, you know, he has a couple of good games, thinks he's the big, you know, the big cheese, and then just, you know, goes hiding when it matters.
The big cheese. I haven't heard that in a long time. Howard, who's your number one?
My number one. See, it's hard to have number one, but one of my
one of your dislikes.
Is
how many were to do? Sorry, let's
three.
I've
we'll probably have a few of the same, I'd imagine.
I've Neil Maupay. Anyone else have him?
What?
No.
What? Neil Maupay. Oh man,
right.
I hate Neil Maupay. You
Why?
know, like, he's just he doesn't even play football. Like, all he's there to do is like be a shit stirrer. Like, that's his whole thing. Like, and he stinks to play out. He's a terrible striker. Like, he got like one goal. Remember there recently, Dan, one goal in how many games, but he's actually put up front to wind people up. You know what I mean? That's his whole game, like, and to like throw the ball away. So look, that's
definitely a surprise one for me.
There's
a lot worse eggs out there than
but he's just that's his role. He's there to, like, he's like the goon in fucking the hockey matches. He's just there to fucking annoy people, like, you know what I mean?
Fair enough. Dan, who's yours?
Yeah, so I only have two, but I'll think of a third one as we're going around, man. He's already entered my psyche there. So he's a man I brought to the table here before, so I might add him in at the end. I'm going to go for El Hadj Diouf.
Liverpool, Dan. I thought.
No, he was a fucking horrid. Yeah, he's ex-Leeds as well. But he was, as Neil Warnock had referred to him as, a sewer rat. And I think it's a really good way of describing him. Like, he came to Liverpool after a big kind of I suppose he had a
African,
good
or was
tournament
it
for.
a
It was the
tournament,
World Cup, wasn't it,
yeah, World
for
Cup, yeah,
Senegal?
Senegal, yeah.
And we signed him. Houllier signed him, whatever like that. He actually was going for Anelka that season and decided to go for him then instead. Imagine, and came in and he just from day one, I think he rubbed people up the wrong way,
Oh, yeah.
on and off the pitch. I know Gerrard and Carragher in their autobiographies fairly slated them, and he actually slated them back then as well.
He
So
spat.
there's loads of stories about him like in that as well. But the fact of the matter is, he came in, he was playing like as a number 9, and he went the whole year at Liverpool, didn't score a goal. He nearly went a year and a half actually without scoring a goal, like, and he was actually playing nearly every game. And yeah, he spat at a Celtic fan in the UEFA Cup game. He spat at a Middlesbrough fan. Got a few red cards as well. Was squaring up to lads left, right, and centre. He was just a fucking hot. You know, when you're talking about no pay and winding up, like this lad was just. He was a horrid individual to have around. He went then to Bolton. Allardyce had him there for a while, and then he ended up. Warnock actually took him, hit him for a while. Where did Warnock Leeds, doesn't it?
Leeds,
yeah. And that's where the sewer rat thing. He actually done okay at Leeds, though. I think when he was there, was he? Was he doing all right? No.
He had like a bit of a run of games, but
but he was just he's one of them anyway, where nobody don't think too much to have a good word to say about him. Even some of the stories were mentioned about him, like where there was one story there where Liverpool got knocked out of the FA Cup, and everyone was really down and pissed off about it. They got bet, and Ella's Juve came in the next day, and like he was like Aubameyang, you know, these fucking convertible cars and different colours and shapes or whatever. And he came in belting the radio out of it, like playing rave music, and got out of the car and danced into the stadium the day after they were knocked out of the cup. And basically Gerrard said like that he just from day one he didn't give a shit if they won or lost. There was nothing. So anyway, that's my first one. He was a sewer rat.
What we'll do actually, as opposed to 3, just for time purposes, we'll stick with 2.
Okay.
For my first one, and I think you'll all agree, my first one is he's actually a former City player. It's Joey Barton.
Oh,
you know,
I have him on somewhere on
yeah, he's
list
on the
as well.
list. I think he'll be on
on the
everyone's
list.
list. It's just I can't stand him. I didn't like him when he played at City, despite him being one of our better players. I mean, he bet the shit out of his teammate, poor Osamo Dabo, on the training pitch. He bet the shit out of him. There's like Google Dabo, and you'll see like the kind of shot of him in hospital with his face all banged up.
What happened?
What's he doing for?
They had an argument like on training, and he just ended up beating the shit out of him. He put a cigar out on a youth player's eye. I mean, he's countless assaults when he was out on a night out. He spent time in prison and everything, and just a good player, but it's just his attitude. And I remember the game against QPR when I think it was he need Tevez, or was it he need Aguero, and then Tevez Aguero come over, and he tried to headbutt him, and he
got sent off, didn't he? That game
he did,
sent off. Yeah, he
just won you the league.
Yeah,
won in the league.
But the one thing you have to give him credit for though is he's really turned his life around.
Not even going to comment on that one. For me, Joey Barton is just he's a good player, but I mean, he's just his attitude for me spoiled what could have been a decent career. So that's my number 1. Lenny,
yeah. Who have we got now?
Number 2.
I had a list like, and they're all pretty predictable. But so then I had another thought, and I thought of a bit of a left field one. He only played a handful of games in the Premier League, but you know he makes Joey Barton look like a nice, good, upstanding member of society.
It should be interesting. So,
have you ever heard of Kevin Muscat?
Yeah,
I've heard of him. Yeah.
So he was a bit of a journeyman. Played for Wolves, Crystal Palace, Millwall, Rangers. So as you can tell by the last few clubs, you know,
the clubs involved,
real nice guy. But so I only think he played a handful of games for was it either Palace or Wolves in the Premier League, and I don't think he caused too much fuss there. But when he was in the Championship back then, he absolutely, I think he had to settle a big case for deliberately injuring someone. I think he had to pay like $500,000 or some amount of money like that. And
he was a shit stir, basically.
Yeah, and he also, I think when he played for Rangers, they wouldn't let him play in the Old Firm games because he'd go too mad. So that's the kind of character you
Fair
deal
enough.
with.
That's what you're dealing with. Fair
Yeah,
enough.
and there's a famous clip. I don't know if you've ever seen. There was like a documentary done on Sheffield United, like with Neil Warnock before they went up to the Premier
Oh
League the
yeah.
first time, and they were playing Millwall, and there was a big brawl in the tunnel at half time, and he decked Paddy Kenny, and he got sent off, and Paddy Kenny got sent off as well, and I think Jagielka had to go on goal, and they won the game, and at the end of the game, Neil Warnock is going up, shaking hands to all the Millwall players, going, "Serves you right for Muscat. Serves you right for Muscat." It's there's a clip of it going around. I'll share it with you. It's very
Very good.
funny, but I
Very
know
good.
he
I
did.
must look
I
him
have
up,
his
actually.
Wikipedia page here. Muscat was dubbed the most hated man in football
No way.
by then Birmingham City player Martin Granger in 2000 after a reckless tackle against his international teammate. He also seriously injured both Craig Bellamy and Christopher Duggery in the latter in a friendly against France. He's Australian, so
I must look him up, actually. I've heard of
Yeah,
him, but I
it's like a
never.
Vinnie Jones character by the
Yeah.
sounds of
yeah.
I never knew of him like to be like a huge issue, but no, I'll definitely look him up. Howard, you're number 2.
I'm going to combine my two into just turncoats. That's why I have them down as the hated or the
Oh, you must
disliked
have
players.
yeah.
I have
Oh.
Ashley Cole and Emmanuel Adebayor combined
Yeah.
into one. Just money grabbing players who literally, turned their back at Arsenal, but also, treated them with disdain after that. And we all
I've
remember
I have
Adebayor's celebration, I suppose,
yeah,
against
it's
Arsenal that time.
basically on that exact issue and celebration. The Arsenal fans had been giving him awful dogs abuse. So I mean,
You mean in defense, is it? In defense?
no. In one sense, you could say he was being provoked.
Yeah. Ah, yeah,
You
for sure.
know,
Come on, every player is getting abused. I'm sure Neil Mope is getting fucking abused every 2 minutes of the game as well.
I was just surprised how bad their aim was when he's in front of them with mobile phones. Like, no one scolded him, did they?
No one
No.
got him. He was there while they were throwing everything
Yeah.
at him.
I thought they were being generous, giving him a mobile phone and a load of pound coins.
one thing about Adebayor, okay, and there's a serious element to this story, but there's also like a comical element to it as well. He's plays with Togo, isn't it?
Yeah, Togo, yeah.
And there was a war or something
His brother,
crazy.
is this about his brother? Yeah, go on.
Could have been his brother, okay, but he was with City at the time, and then he was with the national team or something with his brother. But for whatever reason, he was back in his home country, and he was a Manchester City player at the time. Whatever happened, he was being interviewed by some news channel, okay, and he did the interview in an Arsenal jersey, and it was just an odd thing to do. Because I remember people were saying like he's a City player, but he's wearing an Arsenal jersey, and the Arsenal fans hated him at the time.
Yeah.
So you just wonder, like, did anybody surely?
I'd say he's a bit tapped as well. Like he
Yeah.
didn't. I think he fell out with his whole family as well, and he didn't give them
Okay.
any money and all this kind of crack. And like I think there's probably a bit of there's a bit of
and go on, and
personal
Ashley
stuff going
Cole,
as
go
well in
on.
life.
And the Ashley Cole part, go on.
Oh, the Ashley Cole part is
Yeah.
just, I suppose that was the turn of the tide, I suppose, in London at the time when Chelsea we got was it William Gallas or whatever in a swap deal with Ashley Cole, and it was just the eagerness of Cole wanting to go to Chelsea when we were streets ahead of him at the time, and just literally, I think he wanted a certain amount of money, fair enough, and I think David Dean at the time for Arsenal wanted him to pay the amount, but the board said no. And he left, but he probably wanted to stay at Arsenal in all truth, but they just weren't paying him what he wanted, which is fair enough. But I suppose everyone looked at him as like the guy who went for money, and started the tide for Arsenal selling all their good players that likes Chelsea and City. So that was a sore
United.
And United or RVP, yeah, he was another one. I was thinking actually putting him on the list, but I was like, he was so great for Arsenal, but he's just turned now. Like he's a United fan now. Like he goes to Old Trafford all the time and all that, even though he's about 4 or 5 times the amount of games for Arsenal than he does for United, captain of Arsenal. It was just, I think he's fallen out so much with the club and the fans that like he just doesn't go back there now, which is that's a pity, but that's the way it goes.
Fair enough. Dan, who's your second?
So my second, it's great because I very much disliked him. Then I managed to go and do a game where he got injured by a horrendous tackle and got injured for 6 months, and I was at the game, which was a wonderful experience. My second player is Marouane Fellaini.
Oh Jesus,
Oh, yeah.
Fellaini.
Yeah. So in particular, when he was at Everton, when he actually played football, because he wasn't up the whole lot when he was at United. But I really disliked him. Yeah, and everything about him, from his fucking haircut, from his hair stance, just the way his elbows be fucking flying everywhere, and I just didn't like anything about him.
But was he a bad? Like, was he just awkward, or was he actually?
I know he was. He
not
used
a nice
to
guy.
Yeah, he used to put his elbows out and he used to take lads out. But come on, he did.
He used to always be all this, yeah.
Yeah, he was. So I was at the Merseyside derby then. During, I'm not sure what year exactly it was, but would have been anyway. There was a Greek player playing for Liverpool at the time. He was horrendous, called Kyriakos. I don't know if you remember him.
Yeah.
He was playing for Liverpool. So early enough on in the game, it was obviously the derby is a highly carded game. We managed to get really good seats to really close to like the pitch, and right in front of us, Kyriakos went in with like a 2-footed lunge into Fellaini, and you could hear Fellaini screaming the screams out of him. He properly got done in, and Fellaini went off in a stretcher in that game. And like I just remember sitting there, I was like I was nearly purring. I was that happy, even though we were
Now
down
you're like, you worked the entrance fee alone.
even though we were down to 10 men, I was just like, fuck you, Fellaini. And he actually was out for 6 months, believe it or not. I put him out for 6 months, and he was probably Everton's. He was near enough the best player at the time. He was a handful. Even when he went to United for a while, I know he was like he's a handful wherever he went. But for me, he was dirty. He was always fucking elbows, and just I didn't like the look of him either. Yeah, so he's my.
No, fair enough. My second one is there's a few. There's a few that you could absolutely mention, but I'm going to put in disliked, even though he was a world-class player.
This is always dangerous. This is dangerous.
I know what he's going to say.
It's dangerous when you start going after the ones that are actually really
the vampire,
good.
Is it?
Yeah,
who's the vampire?
I thought you were on about Luis Suarez, who's going.
Luis Suarez,
is that it?
100%.
Around shopping.
Yeah, I mean,
biting chunks out of people.
Honest to God, I mean, Suarez is probably one of the best players. Was one of the best players in the world. You've seen that season he had, where like everything he touched just turned to gold. But the other side of it, there was an absolute just scumbag of a player. I mean, Ajax bites a player. Ibrahim, what's Ivanovic for Chelsea bites him. Who did he bite in the World Cup then as well?
Ivanovic was Russian though. Anyway, continue.
Is he not? He's Serbian, is he not?
Oh, he's Serbian. Sorry, he is. Yeah, Serbian. Yeah.
He just goes around
biting
players.
I'm trying to defend the indefensible.
Honest to God, I mean, you can't.
And the handball,
Patrice Evra as well, like the whole racism thing. And I mean, you can't knock his talent because he's absolutely fantastic. But I mean, Jesus Christ, he signed some absolute animal in Suarez. But I mean, I didn't know whether I should put him on or not because he was so good. But like, it was slightly tainted by the kind of what he kind of got up on the pitch at times. I've never heard of another player biting another player, let alone doing it 3 times. So I mean, a couple honorable mentions from me, and if I've missed anyone, say so as well. Name your own ones. Diego Costa.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I forgot about him. Yeah.
Absolutely,
just a
good bastard, just a brute. I'd say like you'd love to have him in your team, but anyone who plays against him, I'd say just couldn't stand him. Another one for me was Zlatan. I can't stand him.
Oh really? Yeah.
Oh yeah. That really.
I don't like him at all.
I don't know.
That's a lot of people.
I can see that one.
Opposite to that, yeah.
I think Ibrahimovic is a bully. I think he's just again.
I know where this is coming from. Oh yeah. You little fucking pet, Pep fanboy there. Yeah, look at
Pep didn't like him.
Nothing to do, Guardiola.
Yeah, he slated Pep for years.
I know he did, yeah.
Oh, so
that Samuel Eto'o slated Pep, and I think Eto'o's brilliant. Torre is brilliant as well. But Zlatan, I just can't stand. I think he's a bully. He's been a bully everywhere he goes. He has this vision of himself, and he refers to himself in a third person.
He's some ego, all right, but
I read his book, and like his upbringing.
But he can back it up.
Can he though? He backs it up with league titles and that, but like
But he did score like a bicycle kick from nearly the halfway line that time. That was pretty impressive.
He is a great player.
He is a good player. He's a very good player. But is he world class? Is he world class?
No. Yeah, he is. Yeah.
He is.
He was prime.
you're
his prime.
just a Pep fanboy here now. He said a few little bad words about your little Pep buddy, and you're having to throw the toys out in the pram here now.
Okay, all right, fair enough. But go on, if you've any other honourable mentions,
I-
Lenny.
Yeah, I had a few honourable mentions here. So, all self-explanatory. Rio Ferdinand, Alan
Yep.
Smith, John Terry,
Oh,
Frank
Alan Smith.
Lampard,
Yeah,
Cristiano Ronaldo, and Jesse Lingard.
Jesse Lingard. Yeah,
But,
absolutely.
yeah, but isn't it great that football has all these bastards to hate? Like, it makes it so much better, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
There's kind of a though. There's some of them that they are, but they're kind of nearly. They've got like it's the dark arts. It's kind of like it's what
Yeah.
they do. As in, it's not like the likes of
Yeah.
Suarez and a few of the ones that we mentioned there, like you know,
It's to get
There's
ahead,
a-
like.
yeah, and like it's
Yeah.
completely you can't condone some of the stuff, but there's others where it's just kind of like, yeah, I don't know. There's a kind of like it's you wouldn't have them any other way. I don't know. If that's
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah,
No,
absolutely.
yeah.
Howard, any other honourable
Do you
mentions?
know what else I had? I had Joey Barton down. I didn't know what else is Troy Deeney. I wasn't a mad Troy Deeney fan. I see he's also thrown his toys out of the pram with Macclesfield or whoever he's managing.
Forest
yeah,
Green.
Forest Green, yes.
Forest
Yeah.
Green, is it? Yeah, he's gone
Yeah.
on a mad rant there.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
Their recruitment of managers is quite interesting because didn't they have Big Dunk there before him?
Yeah,
Like,
Duncan Ferguson. Yeah.
like, will that just get someone normal? Like, you know,
Yeah.
So,
Dan, any others from you?
I think if we were going to a third one here, just they popped into my head. I didn't have them, but it was Richarlison. I don't think
oh
Richarlison.
yeah, Richarlison.
oh yeah, he's a
Um,
good one. Yeah.
Yeah, he put in there. But like, it was amazing when you said to me I had to read it twice because like I had so many of them. If it wasn't Premier League, I'd have a fucking
yeah.
list as long as my arm. Like a Neymar being near the top.
Pepe.
Neymar.
Oh,
The
yeah.
old Pepe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Richarlison, yeah, even though when I know he's having a decent spell there, but just there's nothing likable about him. He throws himself on the ground the whole time. He's a fucking whinge bag.
And he's Everton, of course.
And when he was there, he was
ex-Everton.
He's ex-Everton,
Yeah.
but like I suppose you would go. If we looked at it, I'd say Everton are probably if we were to look at clubs that had an awful lot of
Pickford, he'd
wankers.
probably pick Pickford as well.
Yeah, you think about Everton actually had a lot of fucking wankers, haven't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, what I meant to do actually during the review as well, I meant to ask Lenny very quickly about his beloved Leeds United. How are they getting on?
Yeah, so it's I think it's going to be 3 horses going for the last automatic spot. I think
I was
Leicester,
looking at it today. Do you think Leicester are going up?
yeah, unless they have a major capitulation. Although they have a few lads gone to AFCON, and then one of the lads, Abdul Fattah, who
I seen
plays for
that.
Ghana, he said he'd stay and try and help Leicester out, and then he got a straight red card in the last game, and he's out for the next 3 games.
So what, has he gone off to the AFCON now? Or is there
No,
they're not having him?
They already played yesterday,
But they
yeah.
wouldn't bring him in, yeah. They probably,
doubt it.
yeah. Which is what's the table looking like? Any for
yeah.
anyone who's not up to speed.
Yeah, so Leicester are clear. What are they on now?
I think they're
I'm looking
7
at here.
points ahead,
They're 65. I have it here. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
on 51.
Yeah,
And,
so
Ipswich are flying, aren't they?
Ipswich.
58.
Ipswich,
doing well,
yeah. It's Southampton I'm more worried about.
Hampton are 55.
They're after
Yeah.
getting going. I think Ipswich, just because they don't probably have as much depth in the squad as Leeds or
All right.
Southampton, I think they might tail off near the end, hopefully. But like they've had a few wobbly results. Like we hammered them 3-0 there just before Christmas as well. So
Who did they get in to manage them in the end?
who?
Ipswich.
They've Kieran McKenna. They
Oh yeah, the Irish lad. Yeah, very good.
Yeah, so fair play to them, I must say. So I think it'll come down right to the wire between probably Leeds, Southampton, and Ipswich. And yeah, if I was a betting man now, I'd say probably either Leeds or Southampton.
Would he be a shout for the Irish job? McKenna.
I don't think he'd want to go now, would he?
No, yeah. Well, not now, but maybe
down
after
the
the
line,
season,
yeah.
end of the season, maybe. He's obviously proven himself to be a decent manager
Yeah,
because
I
it was,
say-
yeah.
I say he'd be.
Lenny, I'm
Look
looking. I'm looking at here. There's an Irish lad is top for Blackburn, is top goal scorer in the championship.
Who? Smodics.
Yeah, what's the story there?
Well, he won't play for us. Was he not in the squad and then he decided not to go or something?
Right. Okay. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
there.
So.
But when you look at it, it's like 19 games left to go as well, isn't there? Like it's.
Yeah, there's a lot to go. So, and
Yeah.
you know how it is in that league. Like it'll probably be down to the last day. There'll be some team in like 9th that sneak in the playoffs. It's always
Yeah.
madness. So you forget
Yeah.
how relentless the championship is.
I'd
it's
love
like,
to. I'd love to see Millwall in the Premier League because they're Millwall and they have this reputation. But I mean, they've been in the playoffs for a couple of years. I
They're
don't know where they are.
yeah,
Don't know where they
they're
are
not
this.
doing it
16th.
this year. They're no
Okay,
good.
fair enough.
Yeah,
It's
Sunderland are
amazing.
doing all right.
It's amazing how you can go down and then if you don't get up a year or two after,
Oh,
you
yeah.
can be stuck there. Like Middlesbrough, I know like it's very tight there, say for the to get into the playoffs, but like Middlesbrough, for example, am I right in saying Middlesbrough were up at Carrick last year and like they were in around it, weren't they, Lenny?
Yeah,
And like they're at the moment, they're like
they're
30.
10th.
Yeah, they're on 39 points and like Leicester on 65. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
as in there's a few there, Norwich as well, or another one that like, and then there's teams like Stoke and Blackburn are just fucking stuck in it.
Yeah, I think
realm.
in the Championship, if you don't get up within your first 2 seasons after being relegated, you're going to be severely restricted by the financial rules because all your
Yeah.
parachute
Right.
money is gone. So
Partial money's gone, yeah.
yeah, you basically have to like just bank on getting up in the first 2 years, or else it can go very
Mad.
badly. But
And Career, is there a bit of a renaissance, or because I haven't really been following much of Leeds, but Beckford obviously got in the headlines with that absolutely outrageous
Bamford.
goal. Bamford, sorry, yeah.
So
Is he starting to chip in again, or
yeah, he's finally getting a run of it, like because he started, the season off injured again or in and out of kind of fitness, and they bought Joel Peru from Swansea, who paid big money for him, and he was going well. And then he's been thrown into the team now the last 2 weeks. I think he's got 3 and 3. Obviously, that wonder goal again the cup against Peterborough, and I think if Bamford gets fit and firing, he makes us quite dangerous. And even without his goal contributions, he provides a lot in all his pressing and his running, kind of pulling the defense around. He's really good at that, even when he doesn't get goals. So I'm glad to see him back in the running now. And if he's firing for the rest of the season, I think we definitely have a better chance of getting that second spot. But it's been a lot more enjoyable, I must say. Like, better to be following us, in the hunt for an automatic playoff spot than swirling around the plug hole trying to scrape 17th. And as well, the no VAR thing is brilliant. It's just when you score a goal, you're just like, right, it's a goal. You're not just kind of like oh.
Fair
so
enough.
that's a better aspect of being the
and is there any
championship.
talk that ever coming into the chapters?
I don't think so. I haven't heard anything of such, and I don't think anyone would be wanting to have it. Everyone you speak to is like saying it's a breath of fresh air, not having it around.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I was only mentioning it to the lads last week. I mean, how it used to be. Yeah, literally the referee and 2 linesmen. That was it.
Yeah,
their decision stood whether you liked it or not.
And look, there's been decisions that have gone against us. Penalties that shouldn't have been given, penalties we should have got, as per normal.
It's all cancels each other out. Yeah.
Life goes on. Like it's not going to, I think, put a big impact on how the outcome of the season is. As I say, the league table never lies, really. So I'd be happy to go without it for the foreseeable.
Except if you're Man City and Rodri blatantly handballed it and Liverpool lose by 3 points. That's the only reason. Yeah. Just put that in
Howard,
there.
you have
Never dies.
what's it called? You need to get that anger looked at, man. You just need to let certain things go.
Well, thankfully I was a Liverpool fan that year.
Yeah, come here. No, come here. We'll move on. One question I meant to ask you, and we're going through the most disliked players. I just want one kind of answer from each of you. Who is the most disliked club? So we'll go in the Premier League. Yeah, so you say, well, I don't know. I know I have an idea. Everyone's going to pick. So, Sarah, Howard, who's the most disliked club?
I would say
just one. Go for it.
My personal one, or who I think everyone dislikes.
No, your personal one.
I'm going to say Chelsea.
Fair enough, Lenny.
Yeah, I agree with Howard. I think everyone hates Chelsea, don't they?
Okay, Dan. I'm kind of very surprised by those 2 answers.
Are you expecting everyone to say United?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. I thought everyone's.
Well, I think
it's obvious.
I think if it was in the glory days,
that's
say United.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's because they're actually not doing that well. It's they're not as unlikable because they're not punishing your club.
Yeah, exactly.
Like they did, like, you know what I mean? So, because I kind of think Newcastle are starting to get in my nerves and have been
Same,
starting to get in my nerves. But I still think it might be with Howard because there's a real my Chelsea hatred goes back to the Mourinho times.
They keep doing it.
That's when, and again, it was probably due to how good they were during a lot of that period as well. But I think I'd be edging towards Chelsea. But I never really sit there absolutely hating another club though. So I probably Chelsea.
Oh, I do, yeah.
Do you? Yeah.
Man United is the obvious answer, but Chelsea as a club, I think, have no redeemable features. I think Man United, there's a bit of history and romance there in their history throughout the years, whereas Chelsea is just
exactly manufactured, industrialized fucking club.
Pure decadence, yeah.
I'm delighted to hear that none of you said City.
Yeah.
Genuinely, because there is I know
they have a lot of likable players, though. I think the players that you just appreciate how good they are. But in saying that, now that you say it, Tech, I might change my mind.
Yeah, City are also a big pile of decadence as well.
You've already given your answer, Danny. So what you say from now on doesn't matter.
Yeah, like Pep would rock you a bit, wouldn't he? Like he's a bit of a fucking gobshite, isn't he, Pep?
Although
Pep.
Yeah.
What do you call it? One thing I love about Pep, and I don't know,
here we go again. Fan club.
There we go. There we go.
You've all seen it. What he does after games, especially games where they've won. You've seen it, Dan. You sent me this thing.
Nonsense. Yeah.
He goes up to players, and is it for the cameras or not? We'll never know. But he almost goes through like a mini coaching session with them after the game. He did it to, was it Oscar Bob at the weekend? He was kind of just showing him you should have done this when he did this, etc. And it's always shown on the camera. And Paddy Power were taking the piss out of him at the weekend. It is it's a bit bit over the top, but maybe he is just that much of a perfectionist that it's genuine. We'll never know, but it looks ridiculous.
Didn't he do that half time in a game with Haaland before? Remember, he was having a big
that's right.
And I was getting thick with him, sort of.
Maybe he is just a bit nuts. And he does it, and he thinks that it's actually happening. Maybe it does have an effect. We'll never know. But it looks a bit daft. But right, we'll move on. So weekly.
Who's yours? You know, what's yours?
Disliked. Definitely Chelsea.
Yeah, United. That's it.
It's not really United. I don't hate United.
Just our group would beg to differ, wouldn't it? Our WhatsApp group would beg to differ, wouldn't it?
No, not at all. I kind of feel sorry. I feel sorry for United, to be honest. Because what's he called? Father Sports United, the brother kind of Sports United.
So would you say, Deck, that you'd love to see them get back to their best for the good of the game?
No, definitely not. Definitely not. I like where they are right now. They had their time. Now they're kind of going through a little bit of suffering. Eventually they'll bounce back, and if they could just stay around the top 6 area, I'd be happy. But if I had to pick a team that I don't like right now, probably be Newcastle or Chelsea, maybe Sheffield United for some reason. I don't know why. I just have this thing about certain clubs that I just don't like, Sheffield United being one of them.
You hate Palace, don't you?
Palace are another just shit team. They shouldn't exist. Roy Hodgson should be put out of his misery. Just they have no ambition to do anything in the league whatsoever, but literally just to end up in around the 12th, 13th, or 14th position. Palace should be done away with. They should just be put into administration and finished with.
Palace.
I'll give a shout out as well to Wolves, especially last year or when they were under Nuno. Their football was absolutely, or not Nuno. Who replaced Nuno?
The Spanish guy from
Lopetegui.
Yeah.
Oh my God, they were time wasting in the first minute, in games when it was 0-0. They just were anti-football. They just wanted to run the clock down as much as possible. And then I remember their fans going apeshite about refs, thinking there was a conspiracy against them to get them out of Europe. And just complete head loss from them.
There are just some clubs that you don't know what they're doing, you don't know what they're aiming for in the season. It's not just to survive, it's not to win anything, it's just to be there and just to piss us good football people off.
Although I'll tell you what, Arteta is doing his best to make me hate Arsenal. I'll tell you that now, Howard.
Yeah.
So again, the old siege mentality going.
Did you see him? Did you see him there off on his jolly to Dubai with Salt Bay, eating a lump of steak off a sabre?
Really?
It's the cut of him.
I saw that. All right. Yeah, it didn't probably look that good, to be honest. The steak looked good, but it didn't look good in his reputation.
Yeah.
All right,
So
we'll move on to the weekly prediction competitions. So, 3 games we're picking this week are Arsenal and Crystal Palace, Bournemouth and Liverpool, Sheffield United and West Ham. So again, if you are able to predict 3 correct scores, you will be the winner of two Premier League match tickets to a Premier League team of your choice. So, Dan, we'll start with you. Arsenal and Palace.
Yeah, I think it'll be comfortable enough win for the Gunners. I reckon they have to kind of stop the rot there as well. So I go for 3-0 Arsenal.
3-0 Arsenal. Howard,
I also have 3-0.
do you want to change it or do you want to stick with Dan's score?
I'm gonna stick with it. I have a funny feeling I'm gonna do it this week and get all 3. So don't wanna mess
I
it
have
up.
that feeling as well, Howard. We could be going to a game together.
Yeah, can I just say the scores have been mad this year, haven't it? The amount of
Yeah,
goals. It's all like
absolutely.
3-2, 2-2, whatever. It's
Yeah.
No
crazy.
word of lying. This is a bit odd, all right? But I had a dream about a week ago. I swear to God that Man City and Aston Villa drew 9-all. I swear on my life I had that dream. Woke up the next morning and I told the wife and she was like, she just laughed in my face. I was like, all right, fair enough. But yeah, 9-all, I swear to God. Lenny, Arsenal and Crystal Palace.
I'm going to say 2-1 Arsenal. I say they'll make it tricky for you.
Yeah,
I was
Palace
thinking AFCON.
Palace
might
are
be a few-
assholes like that.
Yeah.
Might be a good few players gone for
Elise
Villa or for
done his
Palace.
hammy again, didn't he?
Did he?
Did he?
I think he got
Okay.
injured again, I think. Yeah.
All right. Dan, so Bournemouth and Liverpool.
Yeah, I would go. I'll go 3-1 Liverpool.
Okay. 3-1. Howard, Bournemouth,
I'm gonna
Liverpool.
go 2-1. Sorry, yeah, 2-1 Liverpool. So yeah, it's a Liverpool away. I just think Bournemouth are gone through a good spell now, and it's in
Yeah,
Bournemouth.
you can
So
see Solanke's
could be.
second one.
I could
Yeah.
just see like Liverpool score in the 95th minute or something and win 2-1. That's the way I see it.
Okay. Lenny, Bournemouth and Liverpool.
I'm going to go 2-all. I think
Oh.
Wow.
Howard is right. I
Wow.
think Iriola has kind of got a tune out of them now after a rocky start. And
Yeah.
yeah, I just have a feeling, their ground is a bit, they can get it kind of rocking, tight, small ground and upset Liverpool's rhythm.
It's another
early on.
12 fucking kickoff as well.
Yeah,
So.
so
No
Klopp
way,
is
is it?
already
Yeah.
Klopp is already going to be pissed off as it is with the excuses book ready. So I'm going to say 2-all.
Fair enough. All right. Sheffield United versus West Ham. Dan.
Yeah. West Ham are missing a few, aren't they?
Mhm.
Is Bowen still out? He's out, isn't he?
I've heard a
Don't
rumor
know.
that they might be trying to get him fit for the weekend, but the rumor a few
Where
days
did
ago
you,
was saying
where'd you
he was
hear that
gone.
rumor?
It was a reputable
The Sun
source
newspaper.
on Twitter. No, some journalist said it that they're trying to get him fit, but like a week ago he was supposed to be gone long term for like a month or something. So
Yeah,
we'll see what happens.
Kudus is gone, isn't he? And Paqueta's
And
injured.
Paqueta's gone, yeah.
Dan, what's your
I
prediction?
have a feeling. Jesus, I go for 2-1 West Ham, but I have a feeling, Shep, 2-1 West Ham. 1.
Sheffield United aren't going to do a thing because they're worthless. No, I'm
Clip that.
joking.
We have that clip for next week, though.
Yeah. Howard.
I've won all. I'm gonna put on. I just think, yeah.
I was thinking that, yeah.
West Ham
Yeah.
are prone to kind of just messing up in these kind
Playing
of
a bad
easier
one.
games. Yeah.
Yeah, they can put in a bad one, yeah.
All right, and Lenny, last to do.
I think that's a game, if it ever was, that has 0-all written all over it.
Oh.
Nil
So
all.
I'm going to go out
Okay.
and suit the fence with that song.
Very good. Come here. So again, if you want to get involved, send in your predictions to us, Football Fanatic Podcast on Instagram. If you are able to predict 3 correct scores, you'll win 2 match tickets to a Premier League team of your choice. Now, fantasy football. So we're in week 21. So we're kind of only half of the games got played this past weekend. But anyway, just out of curiosity, I suppose. Dan, Howard, whichever one you give an update.
Connor Jordan is back to doing bad things in fantasy football. He had a very good week.
Okay, he's back on top.
Yeah, he's back on top. He had Cole Palmer captain, and then he had Silva, Carlson. Like he's sitting on 49 points, and considering that there's still teams to play, he's had He's had a very good week. So he's top. Yeah, it's still very tight at the top though. Claire Breslin's in second, 4 points off it. Shane Durkin is third. Myself, I have a good few of my players are playing this weekend, but I have on 26 the captain Saka, so expect a big
Yeah,
thing.
I same as that then. Like
Have
have
you,
but you have Jota in, I got Diaz in, so I was just I was hemming and hawing
oh
whether
yeah.
I didn't know who.
Do you make many changes? Two.
I
Did
just
you?
made two. I got Diaz in, and I can't remember who else. Some
Yeah.
other worldy.
I had 5 Foden and Alvarez though, like that. Just
Oh, I got
Foden
Palmer
legs.
in. Sorry, I got Palmer in. That was it.
Did you? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have Jota Nunes if he plays. So still have a few bullets to play, but I'm still sitting in. I haven't moved it now. I think I'm 13th. Howard, you've gone up to 16. What were you? You're up to
I was
16th.
17, so slowly getting
Wow.
way back up there. But see now, if Saka does well this weekend,
Yeah, a lot
so
of
it could
people
be.
captained. A lot of it was very across the board. There was people who captained Palmer, people who captained Saka, and then there was who was the other one that there was somebody else that a good few.
Watkins. I don't know.
No, it wasn't Watkins. There is somebody else that there was a good lot of people that captained. I think who it was now. But anyway, yeah. Oh, was that? No, it wasn't Alvarez. Was it? No, I don't know. It was somebody else. But there was. It's going to be interesting now with no Haaland.
Yeah, I
I
was
know he's
about
due
to
to come
ask.
back. Yeah.
Who, with Haaland out, like, is there a player that the majority of players are going to?
It would have been Salah, except Salah's out. So
with him out, like,
and then it would have been Son, and now he's out.
Yeah.
So it's going to be, I think it's really going to be Saka and Palmer will get a lot of captaincy because he takes penalties. Like he'll get a good bit of captaincy now over the next while, and because he's scoring each week now or assisting, so he'll be in around it. You could see Foden getting a few captain armbands maybe as well because he's kind of getting a good and most weeks getting points. And Saka, obviously Arsenal. I think Arsenal have a decent run of games, no?
Well, it's Liverpool, but apart from that,
Apart from Liverpool getting a few, so I'd say Saka will get quite a bit of it. There's no standout strikers really, bar you maybe depending on who they're playing at home, you might go for Watkins, but it's going to make it makes it a lot more interesting and there'll be a lot more movement I think in the table because there are people that are all captain different people for the next little while.
And there's a wild card as well to be played in the second half of the season.
Yeah, it just depends. A lot of played and I looked there, like a good few played at the weekend, and played at the first weekend back as well. So a good lot of played it already, and then other people are probably holding out for. I think kind of one of them where you could play it now, or if you can try and hold on to and make 1 or 2 transfers, and then maybe play it when all the lads are back from all the competitions, and then like just go home and for the rest with who's left. But City have a double game week coming up, which is going to be a big one as well. City have played twice in 1 week, I think, coming up in the next couple of weeks. They'll have a double game week. So
we've the Brentford game that was postponed on Stephen's Day or around that time has been.
So that'll be a big one because an awful lot of people haven't played their triple captain. So that usually someone will play that in a double game week. So that could be a week there where who's the other game? Have next Brentford. Who's the other one?
Brentford is the game in hand, and I'm not sure. It depends where that falls, but we do have a nice run of games coming. Burnley at the end of the month. Couple home games. We've Everton at home. We played Brentford home and away actually in the space of like 2-3 weeks. So again, like Newcastle away would have been the bogey game that I wasn't looking forward to. And that's out of the way. It's a decent run of games. You would expect them to get a lot of points from, and then it sets it up nicely for Liverpool on the, I think it's
March,
10th
of March, is it? 3rd of March, yeah.
So we'll see. Cheers for that update, man. Monksland United's results over the weekend unfortunately didn't go well for them. The A team lost to top of the table rivals Clara 2-0, and the Monksland B team, they had their game. You'd be delighted to know, but unfortunately they lost their game 5-1 to Clonaslee United. So
they're not match fit, DC. Not match fit.
Maybe not. Fixtures this coming weekend. The B team are away to Burr at 11 on Sunday, but I hear it's going to be a frosty week, so that could be called off. We'll see what happens. A team begin the defence of their Counties Cup versus Columkill Celtic at 2 o'clock on Sunday as well. So that kind of finishes it up for us this week, man. Is there any other business that anyone want to discuss or bring up?
No, just we never just when we were touching on the Burnley results. That results, like when you look at the league table, leaves them in a fairly precarious position. Do we think
Burnley?
Yeah, like that. The fact that they didn't beat Luton, like when you look
No,
at the
yeah.
table,
Six,
that
I guess
it was kind of a 6-pointer, and they were within minutes of so there's a bit of a gap
Yeah.
there to Luton, isn't there? Luton have
There
game in
is.
hand.
Yeah, absolutely. And what do you call it? Everton, I know, like they're
And
because of their 10-point deduction. But are you reading about this thing now as well? That Everton and Notts
Yeah.
Forest
Yeah,
could be in a little bit of bother. And I mean, they'd hardly dock Everton again, would they?
Well, that's what they're
very
looking at,
funny.
yeah.
that's what they're talking about, yeah.
You
Some
see
to
it?
do
it.
some to
Yeah.
do with the interest, some to do with the interest of the stadium. So the Premier League said the interest of the stadium wouldn't count, and then the independent board said it would count into their losses. So that's where the confusion or
Jesus
something is.
Christ!
So
Can you
it'd be
imagine if
shocking.
they?
Like surely that like 10 points deduction, leave it at that. Not Forest are like they've been like
Yeah.
it's like
You could
conveyor
see
belt
that.
in there, like just players coming in and out. Like
See it coming, couldn't you?
yeah, like I think your man Morgan Gibbs White, I think he'd be a good player to snap up from them. I think he's actually pretty decent.
He was at Arsenal, wasn't he?
No, he was Wolves
Wasn't it?
originally. Maybe he was with someone before that, but I don't think he was
He
with
was,
Arsenal.
yeah, but it was kind of when he was signed, it was like, Jesus, they paid a lot of money for him,
Paid a
wasn't
lot,
it?
but he
Though
is decent.
he is decent,
He's
yeah,
played well. Like I'd say you could see him at a top at a better team if they needed to sell.
because they sold your man Johnson to try and balance the books, didn't they?
Yeah,
And
but
they
they're
got
still
decent coin for him, but
they're
Yeah.
still in
It
a bit of a
would
hole.
be. It would be very unfair, like if Everton did get docked again, like.
Keep docking until they get relegated. Like.
Keep fucking taking points off them until they're absolutely relegated. And
Guys,
then
they
there
go
is
mad.
like they're just fucking looking at City, literally up at the top with 115 of them versus their 2 charges. And I was only reading about the City thing again today, and I think like it's going to be another 12 months before anything is
Fucking
heard on it.
Stone
So
Cold's Sean Dyche will be getting the fucking cans out again.
Yeah.
But they're not talking about an October or an October or an autumn hearing, but then there won't be a
for Man
results.
City.
Yeah, I thought but they're not looking at October, and then that'll mean it could be the following summer by the time you have a verdict.
Well, I don't know, but I mean, I suppose if there are charges handed down, I mean, you guarantee it's going to be appealed, so it's just going to drag on longer. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Would you take League Two now, Deck? Would you? either that or the Ryman League in Tier 8.
Oh man, the fucking League Two. Yeah, absolutely. What do you mean? No, like innocent until proven guilty, but I mean,
Come on
League. Come on,
OJ Simpson was innocent.
Oscar Pistorius said he was innocent as well.
Oh, very good. Okay, we'll leave it there. I think, unless anyone want to take the piss any further.
No, that's enough for this week.
Okay.
We have plenty more weeks to do it.
All right. Cheers, everyone who's listening and watching. Lenny, cheers for coming on. Howard, good to see you. Dan, you need to rest. You know what I mean? Drink lots of fluids so we can get you back to your best next week. All right, man. Have a good week.
All right.
Cheers, Deck.
Cheers, Deck.
All right.
Thanks,
Good
guys.
luck. Good luck.